effectively using the IPA map as you transcribe. You can open the IPA map by going to Tools, IPA map, and I'm going to just adjust this a little bit on the screen because at this point, we need to use an IPA symbol that's not on the keyboard. So a couple things about this map. You can bring it up with a shortcut, Control M or Command M on a Mac. It stays on the top of the screen. So even if I click here on the session editor, the session editor doesn't go over it. And it remembers where your cursor is and doesn't move it. So I'm going to erase this and start from scratch. We need to use the IPA keyboard to make the stress marker if we want to indicate that. And I've got S, W, and then this vowel needs to be done here. And also the eng and the K typing. So you can see that I typed the symbols that are on the keyboard and I clicked the ones on the IPA map and I didn't have to move my cursor. I could just seamlessly transition between the two. That makes it faster. The IPA map also has some really great features. You can hover over an item to learn more about it, including its features. That's very helpful. You'll also notice that some of these symbols are highlighted. That's because I've used them recently. If that setting is turned off, you can turn it on by right-click on the IPA map and select Highlight Recently Used. This is especially helpful because in a single session, you often are reusing the same symbols, and so it's easier to spot them. If there are certain symbols that you use a lot, you can also favorite them. So for example, if you find you're often using the aspiration symbol, you're going to right-click it, choose Add to Favorites, and it pops up here at the top. Or the symbol for the English R, Add to Favorites. Or let's say the affricate also occurs a lot. Add to favorites, so it's easy to spot them. You can also right-click and scroll to a particular area if you want to go directly to vowels, for instance, or consonants. You can also use the search function. Let's say you're looking for a symbol and you can't quite find it. So I'm looking for esh. Or sometimes you can even look up the way it's pronounced. Esh is working to give me this symbol, or I want to say dental. And all of these dental sounds, including the dental diacritic, come up. Voiceless, right? I get these voiceless symbols as well as all of the different symbols that are voiceless. So that's a very helpful tool to help you navigate the IPA map more effectively. So let's continue here. We've got the production of church. I've got to do that. I can type, then I'm using the IPA map to get the vowel as well as the affricate. Next one, cheese. We have the affricate and the E, and again, we're not using the lengthening diacritic, and I'm going to replace that with cheesy, a similar situation, although I am just going to get rid of these. Now, I'm realizing that I've got a lot of lengthening diacritics that I don't want. So one thing I could do here is use the find and replace function. So I'm going to select the lengthening diacritic. And I know that I don't want them at all because I'm not using them in my transcriptions. So I'm going to look for the lengthening diacritic in the IPA target and the IPA actual. I'm going to wrap so it looks in both directions, and I'm going to replace it with nothing. And now I'm setting it to plain text because I'm not using a query script. Now I can select Find Next and go through each one, or I can just replace them all at one time. And you can see that now all the lengthening diacritics are gone. And I can finish up with train, judge, which is produced correctly, magician. Now this one's a little different. Oh, I need my map again because I closed it. I need the nasalization diacritic. So I could search for it here by looking for it, or again, I can do nasal and it shows up right here. Now that took me a few minutes because I was explaining things along the way, but you could see if I went and did this straight through, that would be a quite quick process.